And I'm not a therapist, but this guy is suffering with some sort of mental illness. And you know what? It's not just him. There is a lot of people, just like Mini Milena here across the world, that have the bit between their teeth for anybody with this colour skin. So what has it been? Maybe 3 or 4 weeks since Dricus Du Plessis went on a press conference wearing the Trump t-shirt. Legacy media in general had a complete meltdown. South African legacy media had a complete meltdown. And a lot of EFF, Julius Malema type supporters on social media absolutely had a meltdown. None more so than this dude here. With a decent sized following, he's an EFF supporter, a Julius Malema fanboy, an absolute lunatic to be honest with you. And you can see it from this initial post that came out when the news of Dricus Du Plessis supporting Donald Trump's cutting off of aid to South African government because of the disgusting communist Marxist behaviour put upon the people out there. Trump said that South Africa was terrible, plus long-time farmers in the country, they are confiscating their lands and farms, and much worse than that. A bad place to be right now. We're stopping all federal funding. To go a step further, any farmer with a family from South Africa seeking to flee that country for the reason of safety will be invited to the United States of America with rapid pathway to citizenship. This program will begin immediately. Yeah, confiscating land and farms is definitely a thing, and much worse than that is, of course, what he's talking about, what is the bone of contention with a lot of people that are hating on Dricus Du Plessis right now, because he's highlighting and bringing up the fact that white farmers are being targeted over there with exponential numbers losing their lives. It's absolutely disgraceful and disgusting, and it needed to be highlighted.
South Africa is going through so much. If you look at a political stance, we have 4 murders that's really taking the whole country by storm. It's something unbelievable. People are getting murdered daily, and it's almost like I feel because it's Africa, a lot of the world doesn't see it, and it's like nobody in the world really knows what's going on there. And I just want to shout out to South Africa, to my South African people, the folks, and say, guys, stay strong. We can beat this battle, and I just get this opportunity on the biggest stage in the world to say, let's stop the 4 murders, and I want the world to see what's happening in South Africa. And it's such a beautiful country. It's really one of the most beautiful countries in the world that's being ruined by stuff like this. And we don't need that, and let's stick together as a country, let's stick together as humanity, and let's beat this thing.
And with Dricus Du Plessis heading into his title fight just a couple of weeks ago, we had this dude, Apostle Diza something, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Breaking news, of course. And he said this about Dricus Du Plessis at the time. A child of a snake is a snake. A European illegal immigrant to South Africa, Dricus Du Plessis has called for Cape independence, where fellow racist Europeans can create a state from stolen African territory. A land thief doesn't believe in South Africa that is led by Africans and a majority being black, yet the Minister for Condolence had to have his say about him. South Africans, we have an Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC champion. Congratulations to Dricus Du Plessis. You have raised our country's flag. Enjoy the moment. You have made the whole country proud. And this guy was perturbed because the Minister for Social Arts Culture congratulated Dricus Du Plessis. How could he do that? How dare he? Does he not see the colour of this dude's skin? As I said, he's an EFF wannabe militant fighter, and he's also a fanboy of Julius Malema. So we've all seen the overt racist rhetoric that the EFF put out there without any condemnation from the media or the legacy media, and this guy espouses a lot worse than that most of the time, and it's quite the read, let me tell you. So we're going to have a look at this breaking news that Mini Milena put out yesterday, and he says Northwest University to hold a gala dinner with the racist Dricus Du Plessis. Imagine paying $2,250 to take a picture with a racist European such as this one. But what can we expect from a university which had de Klerk as a chancellor for democratic dispensation? So F.W. Klerk was known for being the last white South African president of the apartheid era in South Africa. People called him a polarizing figure, but in the end, he buckled under the weight of pressure from Western countries and gave in to liberal democracy and let the country fall. And after his death in 2021, there was a posthumous video of apology again for apartheid put out there. I'm sure the EFF loved that video, and as the old saying goes, never apologize.
Shoot to kill the mother, kill the poor, the farmer.
The NWU Potchefstroom SSC is hosting a VIP gala evening with the current UFC middleweight champion, our very own Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus is a Trump and Elon supporter, a man who went on the world stage and spread lies about the farm murders and a nonsensical white genocide. A genocidal lunatic, the man behind the Independent Cape movement. How did the Youth Command allow for such? So the Youth Command that he's referring to are just another branch of the EFF. They're the Student Command, as they call themselves, and they have been embroiled in bunches of controversies. Numerous times they've been accused of inciting tensions and engaging in intimidating behaviour. Historical incidents involving the EFF-SC Youth Command, such as in 2023 the protests at a university in Pretoria where striking EFF members prevented non-black students from entering the campus gates. And this guy is pretty much putting the message out there for the Youth Command to show some force on student campus and shut down this visit from Dricus Du Plessis and this fundraising that he's about to partake in. There's a lot to unpack there, to be honest with you. And I'm not a therapist, but this guy is suffering with some sort of mental illness. And you know what? It's not just him. There is a lot of people, just like Mini Milena here across the world, that have the bit between their teeth for anybody with this colour skin. Most people won't really talk about it like that because when you talk about the differentials in skin tone, people lose their mind. People lose their mind. As I've said many a time, every single ethnicity is allowed and promoted to support their own, and if they want to congregate and promote, which they do, especially here in Ireland and in the UK, you'll see it. Because of that collectivism of their own ethnicity and their own groupings, because of the numbers and because of the loudness of the voice within that community, and because of the fact that our liberal democracy allows them to not acclimate to where they have come to, they're allowed to prosper, and these guys can make it into really prominent positions within our government. So Dricus Du Plessis, the racist European, is going to be at a gala and it's going to cost $2,250 to go and see him. So I looked up the Potchefstroom's student council, which invited Dricus to come to the campus, not for some strange celebrity appearance, but it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser to raise money for the students of the campus who want to finish their education but don't have the money to. So here's the evil student council that have invited the white UFC champion over to help out the students get their loans paid. So here we have Dricus Du Plessis, who will be appearing on March the 15th for 150 rand. Let's have a listen to see what exactly is entailed with this celebrity racist European appearing at this campus.
Dricus Du Plessis is coming to Potch on the 15th of March to have a fundraiser and to raise funds for students with outstanding debt, to help students complete their final modules and then be able to graduate from this university.
So wow, that disgusting, vile European Dricus Du Plessis is popping over to one of the local colleges to have a fundraiser, to try raise some funds so as the students can finish their modules and graduate from higher education. What an absolute disgusting piece of shit he must be, right? So within this incohesive tweet from Mini Milena here, there's a lot more to unpack. Like, he says that Dricus Du Plessis is a supporter of Trump and Elon Musk. He said that he went on the world stage and spread lies about farm murders. I don't know what you have to do in terms of evidence in seeing exactly what has transpired since 1994 to where we are now in South Africa. I don't think there's much that has to be done in terms of critical thinking and doing your own research. It's the same with every other topic. A simple Google search or maybe an alternative to Google will actually bring up the vast array of white crosses that have been erected in memory of the white farmers that have lost their lives. The information is out there. It's at the end of your hand on that phone. All you got to do is want the truth and you can find it. It's very simple. And not be coerced by lunatic social media users, but more sinisterly, don't be coerced by mainstream media, legacy media, whose sole purpose is to suppress the truth and push propaganda and gaslight you. Very simple Google searches, or even pop onto Grok over on X, and they will tell you categorically that Dricus Du Plessis has never even said the word genocide. Never even uttered it or mentioned it. And it's a fake narrative perpetuated by very sinister media people, but also people just want to hear what they want to hear, like these triggered Milena wannabes. So they're going to keep regurgitating it. But the likes of this social media user and many more's message can filter through to people that just don't have the cognitive skills to critically think. Just want to show you this tweet here from this lad. I'm not even going to try pronounce his name, but this is a very standard, common tweet or opinion that you'll see from people that have EFF or Milena-like stuff in their bio, right? He says that he remains European and a descendant of colonizers. He doesn't get to be African because he was born here. The same way Africans in America are still called African Americans. After being in America for more than 400 years, maybe we can call him European African. That's a very interesting take, and it's something that I talk about all the time. So here's my subjective thoughts in terms of what is mentioned in this tweet, but also what people like Kamaru Usman, former welterweight champion in the UFC, have said.
But the one thing that I think he's failing to realize is, just because I go to China and my parents are in China and I'm raised in China, that doesn't make me more Chinese than people from China.
If me and my wife move to Japan and we have a child there, that child is not Japanese, right? It doesn't matter what way you look at it. The same way sub-Saharan Africans, Muslim lads, Romanians, Ukrainians, everyone coming to Ireland having kids here, their kids are not Irish. And I say this all the time, especially with, Frimpong, the lad that Paddy Pimblett choked out. He pretends to be Irish. He has the Irish accent. He's born in Ireland, I guess, or came here as a younger lad. He's not Irish. Right? What's the thinking behind that? Well, the thinking is he hasn't done anything to this country to make it better. If it was a case that African people came to Ireland 400 years ago when it was just mud fields, mud huts, absolutely no infrastructure of any way, shape or form, and they built and constructed and built Ireland into the cities that we see now, with the motorways, with the railroads, with the infrastructure within an active city, then I would look at someone whose family have been here for 400 years, even though he's not white. I would say, yes, he came here and he built what we are existing in right now. So of course we can call that person Irish, right? 400 years ago, the White Dutch settled in South Africa and built it into an absolutely awesome operating city, which has been destroyed since 1994 under the guise of liberal democracy, and this is the right thing to do. I don't think it's fair to call Dricus a European or an outsider, especially when his family and his ancestors built the very country and the very cities that you're probably tweeting from. A simple thank you would suffice. So anybody with a half-functioning brain can do the research and they will see that Dricus Du Plessis has never once uttered the word genocide. He has never once promoted any sort of misinformation or disinformation. He has done nothing but tell the truth. And not only that, he is actually talking about and highlighting something that the world are being woken up to right now. And I couldn't be happier to see that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe hit like, subscribe and share if any of it made sense. There's also a Patreon link in the description. If you want to support me over there, keep the show on the road. I'd really appreciate that. Cheers.